Welcome back to Josh's Green Garage. Here we have the John Deere 54-inch quick hitch blade. These are wildly popular. They're versatile. You can use them for snow, gravel, dirt, whatever. And there's only one problem. On these tractors that they're supposed to be used for, they don't really cover the wheel track when it's angled sideways. So what do you do in that case, or what do you do if you need a little bit more width on this blade? Let's find out. Before we get started, I just want to give a quick reminder that I now have a Facebook page for the channel. So if you like this channel, please go ahead, check out the Facebook page, maybe like that. I'll be posting sneak peeks of whatever I do on there, just any random things that I get into. I also have links on there to my eBay page. So please feel free, check that out. So I got a goodie in this box that I've been waiting for a very long time. I think I ordered this in February of 22, and it's now, end of October 22. I actually still didn't even get it from where I originally purchased from. I went home on vacation and checked a John Deere dealer there. They were able to call AgriFab, who makes this kit, and they said they had them in stock ready to go. So canceled my order online and purchased these from them and just brought them back up here with me. So I ended up getting them faster, but hey, I haven't had any massive snow here yet, so I wasn't too worried about the delay, but I finally got these. What I have here is John Deere part number LP53767, and this is the 54-inch quick hitch blade extension kit. What we have in here are two extension pieces. These are 9-inch extensions, and they slide in to the edges of the plow like so. And then you bolt these on at the top, and you essentially add 9 inches to each side, 18 inches overall, so you're effectively now having a 72-inch blade on this thing. So bigger than the 60-inch blade that you can get from John Deere for these tractors. I know there's another company out there, I can't remember what the name of it was, but they make some pretty popular blades, not so much with extensions, but like actual blades. They're heavier duty, but they only go up to look like 66-inch. So if you're wanting something wider, not necessarily maybe heavier, because I know those ones are heavier than the John Deere one, but this is a way you can get up to a 72-inch blade. So in this kit, it's a simple kit. You get your two extensions, your instructions, there is a little thank you for your purchase from John Deere and AgriFab. As I said, these are made by AgriFab. So most of the stuff, it seems, comes from Brindley for the John Deere equipment, but this one, is AgriFab. And then what do I do with it? Still in there. A little hardware bag. It's just 4 carriage bolts, 4 lock nuts, nothing wild. So quality of this kit, really nice. These are heavy. I think there was a label somewhere in the box here. Let's see if I can find it. 28 pounds was the shipping weight, so obviously the box doesn't weigh much, so you can figure each one of these is around 14 pounds. So yeah, pretty good quality. The steel thickness on the side matches what the plow blade is. There is some nice gussets here on the back to reinforce it, and then you have a nice thick tube here, which is what slides into the ends of the plow, supports it, and then you got a nice thick piece of metal up top, and that'll of course bolt the top of this on where you need it. You do have holes in the end, so if you're putting on those little edge markers on the plow, you can put them right on there. There's also some holes in the sides. I don't know that there's really any extra kit for that or what exactly that would be used for, but I would imagine you could bolt some flat shields on the sides if you wanted more of a snow pusher, you know, which might not be a bad idea depending on your situation. So pretty cool. You have a blade along the bottom. The only thing I don't like about this is it's not the same dimension as the John Deere one. It's wider, but it is every bit as thick. You can get rubber like squeegee blades for this. So I know, of course, my boiler went off again. Anyway, as I was saying, you can get other blades for these. I've seen people buy rubber squeegee blades. So if you have like a concrete driveway or asphalt driveway, something like that, and you don't want to drag the steel across it, you can do that. They also make one-piece steel blades that can go all the way along it. I didn't try to buy one of those. It was kind of pricey, and to try to ship one up here, it would be ridiculous. So if anything, I might just try to find a piece of steel, and I'll trim the edges and drill it, do whatever I need myself, try to make it fit. But I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, but it would be nice to have this whole thing tied together with one long piece of steel like that. So that is it for my first impression of it. Seems like a really well built kit. I think it's going to help reinforce the edges of this blade, especially with all those gussets on the back. So it does, you know, seem like it's worth the money. A little steep, but as I said, it's worth it, and I think it'll be a nice upgrade. So let's move in and we'll start installing this thing. All right, I had some stuff come up today. Had to do a little bit of a wardrobe change, but whatever. So before we get started, I kind of have this one side mocked up here of how I'm gonna get this going. But before we get into this, since I mentioned earlier, I was on vacation back home when I got these. I actually found something else up there that I want to share with you guys. Found this at Tractor Supply. Thought it was pretty cool. An actual X758. I'm not sure, it's a 1/16 scale, big farm edition. Pretty cool. Comes with a snow plow like what we're working with, mower deck, and then a little 17P trailer. So I thought it was pretty cool to have. I picked one up, just sent it back to myself, and it just got here today. So pretty cool. It makes noises. It has a real engine noise. It's pretty realistic. So yeah, pretty cool. Just thought I'd show you guys. I found it at a Tractor Supply there, so you guys can find it there. They also sell them at some of the other different types of big box farm stores like that. I've seen them online. So if you have an X758 or any X700, or you know, just interested in having something like that, go ahead and pick one up. All right, so to get into this, I'll move you guys closer when we do it, but basically what I did here is I have it clamped up here, wood block behind, so that when I drill through the actual plow, it doesn't, you know, damage any of the finish on the rest of the mold board underneath. My clamp here, I have just some little toolbox liner, that way it doesn't mar the finish on there. I took off the blade on the extension, that way it doesn't interfere with the blade on the plow itself. That way I can get this as close as I can, well, I can get the extension as close as I can to the mold board for when I drill, to get my, my holes in the right spot. So that's how I'm gonna set this up. I'll move you in and we'll get into it. Alrighty, so we're clamped in place here. So going through the instructions here for installation. First, you're gonna slide the shaft onto the blade extension into the gap between the blade and the angle. So essentially, the piece down here that protrudes through is going in this piece of angle that's welded onto the bottom of the mold board. 2, with the extension in place, clamp in place with a non-marring clamp. You can see I did here, this would be a marring clamp. However, I put stuff in the way, that way it doesn't actually mar the surface. But if you have one that has like the little rubber or plastic tips, that would be ideal. Using the square holes as a guide, drill 13 32 inch holes in the top surface of the blade. So I put a 13 32 bit up to this, and it's just a little wider than what this hole is, so I don't quite want to use that. Again with the boiler. All right, forget exactly where I was, but Yeah, 13-30 seconds is a little too wide for that hole, so I don't want to go from there. The carriage bolts are 3/8 carriage bolts, so I'm just going to drill it with a 3/8. And I have these pilot point bits that I'm going to use. So it's 3/8, but it has a smaller bit at the center. That'll help kind of give me, like, you know, a good center if I don't know, decide to drill it first with a pilot bit, or if I just want to go with this one. This should drill with this, sorry, can't talk. Drill through this steel pretty well though, so we'll see what happens. If I have to upsize it to 13-30 seconds for whatever reason later, I will. But I have a feeling I'm not going to have to go that big. I think, what was it? I think 25/64 was the size lower than it and above the 3/8. So if anything, it would be that size. So I tried putting a clamp near the bottom of this to kind of hold everything together how I wanted. But these extensions aren't a perfect match to the blade, which, I mean, I can't blame them. It'd be hard to get it perfect. So I'm just gonna hold this where I feel it's probably best, and then just drill and take out just a little bit of the paint, and then we'll go from there. So now I just have a nice little mark that I can go off of. So I'm going to take the extension off now and drill these without the extension in the way. Got the pilot point in there. I'll probably drill it with my cobalt bits. And 3/8. I hate that you have to drill these yourself. I do wish these would have come pre-drilled for those extensions. That would be nice. There we go. The holes actually feel pretty clean on the bottom too. So now, slide our extension back over. And one of my holes might be a little bit off. That's annoying. But I could always upsize it a little if I have to. Well, my daughter conveniently showed up and stopped the video there for a second, but I pretty much just ran. I got this like kind of moved around a little bit, and that hole was all right. I just had to run the bit through it real quick. Just to round out a little bit of the edge of the square hole in this. But I was able to get it right through. And of course, I wasn't thinking, took the wood block out of the way, and then ended up nicking my plow beneath it. But I guess these things happen. So I'm just tightening this down now. good and tight. And see, the only thing is I don't like how there's no way of fastening it at the bottom. So that's like loose in there, which is why I wish there was a better way that blade edge at the bottom could, you know, somehow tie into the other side. So I'll have to figure something out for that. We'll see, but that's on there. It's not gonna go anywhere, but I'll have to figure something out. Maybe I could just put a thin piece of metal behind the blade edge or something and kind of tie the two together. We'll see. Well, that's pretty much it. Pretty much step 4 was to fasten with those two and then repeat for the other side. So that's pretty much it. Then all you got to do is put your blade edge back on and adjust it. So the blade edge has these long square cuts so you can slide it up and down as it gets worn, whatever. But pretty much just set it on flat ground, adjust it, loosen it, it'll fall down and be in line with everything else. And you're good to go. You see this? That's what I'm talking about. I don't like that gap. I think this probably should have been designed a little bit better. There probably should have been something on here that you could then run a bolt through here, tie it all together. So I think I might do something like that. And this is the fully assembled 54-inch blade with the two 9-inch extensions, totaling 72-inch blade. Really easy install. This side took me a little while only because I was screwing around with it, trying to get rid of that little gap at the bottom, which I'm gonna deal with that in a later video. But when I went to put this side on, it only took just a couple minutes. Like, it's very easy install. You can get these, throw these on, and you know, it's really easy. Seems pretty good. This side went on. There's not as much of a gap at the bottom. This one, I think I had it a little too tight at the top to begin with. And with that one hole being a little bit misaligned, that screwed it up some. But like I said, I'm gonna deal with that. But yeah, other than that, I can't wait to use this thing. It's gonna be sweet having all this extra width. This thing is pretty big now. So stay tuned if you have a gap issue like that and want to do what I think is a good permanent fix. It's gonna involve a little bit of extra work like I usually do with everything. If you see how I install wheel weights, this is gonna be something like that. It's gonna be a little more involved than it probably needs to, but in the end, it should work real good. One thing I want to point out, it says in the instructions for this plow is that you're not supposed to use these extensions for anything other than snow. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's just because it's not solidly attached at the bottom, or maybe they think any extra force applied to that isn't going to be strong enough on the rest of the plow blade. I have no idea, but I don't really see any reason why you couldn't. I mean, I guess that's one of those things, you use at your own risk. So if you have any questions, anything like that, of course, as always, let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching. Have a good one.